Welcome to a Coffee Talk with P3 special presentation. From now until September 19th, the Coffee Talk with P3 podcast is highlighting many of the theater and arts nonprofits participating in the Long Beach Gives Annual Day of Giving. Let's listen in to hear more from today's special guest.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk with P3. I'm John Peterson with P3 Theater Company, and I am here today with the amazing Holly Leveque, the artistic director and producer of the Long Beach Shakespeare Company. That was a mouthful. Did I say it all correctly?
You did. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I've worked on it for the last 2 weeks. It is so exciting to have you here today. I met Holly in person for the first time. It was close to a month ago, maybe-ish.
2 months, something like that. Yeah.
Wow, was it that long? At a summit for Long Beach Gives, and we sat next to each other, and they almost had to kick us out of the room because we had too much fun. But this is the first time I've seen you since then, so it's great to see you, great to have you here, and great to hear more about you and the Long Beach Shakespeare Company.
Yes, it was so lovely to meet you, and I'm so happy to be here to talk about the theater, Long Beach Gives, and everything in between.
Awesome. So have you always been involved in the arts?
I can say absolutely. I say that my mother preferred theater as for childcare. Mm-hmm. So every weekend we'd be seeing something. And so I was brought up from the time I was 2 seeing shows all the time. And my mom had worked in the industry and my Uncle John. And so we go to different sets. And so I loved every kind of medium to do with acting as well. And so eventually it became really clear to my entire family and myself that this was the path I was meant to be taking. And I just have always adored the theater. There's nothing like going into a theater. Every vacation I ever went on growing up was to go see theater. I never saw a beach until I was a grown adult. And it's just really important to me to carry on this legacy of spoken word and how these stories that were written thousands of years ago are still so relatable to today's world. And I ended up as well taking a lot of acting classes and getting involved in the Academy in Visual and Performing Arts at Culver High, which really opened a lot of doors for me. And so since I first came upon this theater, it was actually one of my best friends, the ABPA, they had suggested I audition for something, and it ended up being Lysistrata, which was Brandon Alexander Kutz's first show he ever directed. And he was the theater's second artistic director who then picked me to carry on the legacy after Helen Borgers, God rest her soul, who will always be a guiding light for the theater. She had passed away in 2017 and Brando stepped in, and now Brando is living his best life in Hawaii, and I am very happy to be here with you guys.
Wow. So you performed with the Long Beach Shakespeare Company.
Yeah.
And so you went from this little toddler
yes.
going to the theater, growing up, becoming involved in the theater,
yes.
to then acting with the Long Beach Shakespeare Company, and now you are basically the head or one of the heads
yes.
of the Long Beach. First of all, to me, that's a testament to the Long Beach Shakespeare Company, because to take that journey from being on the stage to wanting to be in charge and carry on the legacy is it says a lot about the organization itself.
Absolutely. And Brando had been with the theater since he was 13. So it was just, Helen was his mentor, a mother figure, all these things. And he saw something within me that then Helen and Dennis McCourt, who was associated with the company for a while too, they cast me in the entire season after I did Lysistrata. And so I was just so fortunate to be able to just be in a different show almost every month and know how it feels to do a 7-week run of Othello, which is a lot. That's
a long run.
It is a long run.
For a play in general.
Exactly. Now we have 4 weeks, just 4 weeks.
But that's still great. A 4-week run of a Shakespeare play.
Yes.
Says a lot about Shakespeare's the longevity of how it's relatable.
Yes.
For sure in this day and age, because a lot of theaters barely do 2 to 3 week runs sometimes of plays, typically because plays they make a little less revenue than musicals, because everybody likes to see this. Jazz hands. So how long ago did you become, well, let's have a couple, you're just filling me with questions here.
Good.
When was the Long Beach Shakespeare Company founded? What year?
So we took over, it was first established in 1990 as a nonprofit theater known as the Bard in the Yard. So if you look us up, that's still one of the, so the goal of that was to make Shakespeare's work, classical theater, available for the larger Long Beach community, and just trying to spread the wealth of arts and the knowledge of that, and introducing underprivileged audiences to theater, to Shakespeare. And that's something we really still try to do. One of our neighbors right next to the theater, they are a barbershop, which is a great barbershop, deluxe barbershop.
Oh.
And
is that barbershop singers or barbershop like to get your hair cut?
Haircut.
Something I would know nothing about.
And so I always ask, I'm like, you guys can come see the show. I have tickets. And, they're scared still to come see it. But it was hilarious because last show we did was Comedy of Errors, which is Shakespeare's first play he ever wrote. And it was actually a show that I did in 2010 when I first joined the company. Helen had me play a prostitute and a nun with a 2-minute costume change, which was ridiculous.
So was the nun a prostitute?
No, 2 different ones. No. Yeah, they had me in a see-through burqa, and then I had to change into the nun's costume in a jiffy, and audiences just lost their mind.
That's hysterical.
So it was so fun to be able to bring that show to life again. And what was hilarious actually is that one of our cast members had seen that production that I was in all of those years ago. Yes. And so when I first came to Long Beach Shakespeare Company in 2010, I was in my junior year of college at LMU. And through them and the AVPA, I was really exposed to a broader theatrical education than one normally gets. And I had the opportunity to study at the Moscow Art Theater and, be taught Russian theater history from the head of the Moscow Art Theater. And I had the opportunity to study and act in Germany.
Wow.
And then I had the opportunity to study theater history on an island in Greece. So I have...
You can go now.
And so all those were rooted in theater, or were supposed to be. Actually, the trip to Greece, I was one of 2 theater majors. Everyone else was fraternity and sorority crew who just wanted to have a good time.
Wow.
And boy, they did. And actually, 2 of them helped create Liquid IV, which is like this emergency situation that you can take now to pep you up and to make you a little bit less hungover.
Nice.
Yes.
We'll talk about that off the camera, how
Absolutely.
We can get access to that. So, wow. So the productions at Long Beach Shakespeare Company, do you guys run on like a traditional theater season?
Yes. When we first started, we didn't have a full season, but when Helen Borgers, God rest her soul, who was our first artistic director and is a radio icon, and some radio stations still even play her words because she is so talented. She came into the theater in 1997 and kind of breathed life into this. And so now what I do is we do 3 classical shows a year. And so this year we did 2 Shakespeare, and then we also are now doing 2 non-Shakespeare. So we just did Antigone, and right now we have Chekhov in Shorts, which is going to be opening on August 30th, and that was directed by the woman who brought me to the Moscow Art Theater.
Oh, wow.
So what has been amazing is for me to bring in these teams of people that I've had the opportunity to work with around the world to Long Beach.
That's great.
And yes, and so like for the New Works Festival, which I brought back to the company. See, we thought that they had never had one, but actually we had one in 1992.
Oh.
A New Works Festival then. And so actually one of the guys who we had selected, he had been part of that one.
Oh my gosh.
Which was just wild.
Full circle.
Yes, all the time. And you never know what's going to happen. And, you know, theater holds such a sacred place in their souls. And so it's really beautiful to have the opportunity to have a theater, to fill it with artists who want to be there and give them these opportunities. And then have patrons coming in, and you know, I'm so blessed that people just keep saying the shows are getting better and better, and that since I took over it has progressed, and I just hope to keep it on that path for sure.
That's great. Does your season run on like a calendar year, January to December?
Yes.
Okay.
So right now I'm building the season right now. So it's going to be a lot of Shakespeare, which I'm very excited about. And then as well, we have the New Works Festival that I told you guys about. So that was very early this summer, and that was very successful. We actually had to add some performances because some of the shows were sold out.
Oh, great.
Yes. And then we also have the poetry series, which is in October. So we do, how can you do Shakespeare not honor sonnets and poetry? And that was something so close to Helen's heart. And so I wanted to uplift that love. And then also lean into some of the more uncanny parts about theater and kind of a Halloween central. So
Ooh,
yeah, so we
that
have
sounds fun.
Shakespeare on the Dark Side, which will be part of the poetry series.
As opposed to Shakespeare in the Park, it's Shakespeare in the Dark Side.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it.
Exactly. But we do want to come back to the parks too, because that's, you know, where Shakespeare started, of outdoor theater and the groundlings and all of that. So we have 4 fully staged productions. We have our New Works Festival and poetry series, and we also do old time radio shows.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. As a love letter to Helen, because she was a radio goddess in her day. And so the first show that we ever did with her as artistic director was War of the Worlds. So that's the annual show we do every year. And it's just, Halloween was her favorite time of year. And so to get the October radio season, it just really does feel like a love letter to Helen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if people wanted to find out about all of your theatrical programming that you have going on, how can they find out about it? How can they get information?
Yes, so we have our website, lbshakespeare.org, and then we also have our social medias, which is LB Shakespeare as well. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. But we've ditched Twitter, like many have as well. And
Twitter, X, Y, Z, L, M, N, O, P, what? Okay,
whatever they're calling it now.
That's a whole different episode.
That's a different episode. We'll record that soon too. So we really, in my season, when I'm making it, I try to, we did a survey with all of our patrons, so I got to see what they wanted, which is something that I want to take into account with my season.
It's important.
Definitely, but also pick something that my company wants to do. So the actors, they want to do. And then for me, I just always want to bring something that's going to elevate the work that we're doing, bring in new directors, new talent, and one of the most beautiful parts of me taking over has been actually connecting with Helen's brother. And Helen's brother coming to see all those shows, which after she passed, he had stopped doing, but he's been seeing all those shows. And he's just like, this is what Helen dreamed of. Like, you've achieved her dream, which is like all I want.
and you're carrying on the legacy, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, it's important to have legacies like this carried on, because if they aren't, it becomes a lost art, and art is too valuable in people. We need art of many different types, if not all of them, to be able to live, I almost said valid lives, but whole lives, complete, fulfilled. It really, it's like dotting the I's and crossing the T's. That's what the arts do to an existence. That was really deep. And,
Yeah.
but true.
It is.
I shock myself sometimes.
But that's the thing, is that theater is so powerful. I mean,
Yeah.
in ancient Greece, they buried actors in unmarked graves because they had the power to make someone feel something. And how great is that?
Wow.
So we're dangerous, guys. Artists.
I love it.
Very
I love it.
dangerous.
Yeah. There's a new danger in my life. I love it. So one of the things that really intrigued me that you said early on in our talk is being able to make the Shakespeare, the arts, accessible to the underserved populations. How do you guys do that?
Well, what has been great with doing the New Works Festival is that we had Asian show last year, which was a full Asian cast, and then this year we had a full East Indian cast. So we're bringing in people whose stories aren't always being told, and that's something I want to start telling more, because that's what's interesting to me personally. I grew up in Inglewood, and for me, I just think that sometimes people have this block when it comes to theater, that they think it's scary and that they wouldn't relate to it. But what's beautiful is, like, on stage, seeing someone that you absolutely can relate to and that you can see. And so that's one of the things I love about theater. But one of the things that we do to serve under represented communities is that we're trying to expand what we're doing so that people do have a show in the season for everybody. So kids could come see our holiday show, and then we have some things which probably have a more adult programming, which is for the summer. And for our radio shows, we actually broadcast them live, and you can listen anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Yes, so it is accessible in that manner. But I'm working with the Bixby Knolls community to have, hopefully next year, us be part of their concert in the park series to do parking lot. So it's Shakespeare in the parking lot.
That's great.
Yes, and so last year we performed as well for Long Beach Gives Live on the Day of Giving. And so this year we're going to do that again. So it'll be exciting to bring the arts to Shakespeare in the Park, which is something I definitely want to get more into, and to support the other arts communities that is within Long Beach Gives as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. We're all in this together.
We truly are, and not just in a High School Musical way. We're
Right.
actually all in this together.
So true. Are there any additional programs or any part of Long Beach Shakespeare Company that we haven't covered that you might want to highlight?
Yes.
There's so much, which is
there
exciting.
is, exactly.
Because it's just lots of opportunities, not just for the patrons, but for artists as well, the actors, and
to be challenged.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. Which is, and new works is always important, because yes, while these stories are timeless and they can be told over and over, there are still more stories to be told.
Yes, that need to be told.
Yes,
by voices that have been silenced.
Yes, and that need to be heard.
Yes,
by people who may relate to those untold stories, or just for people to become aware and educated on the world.
Yes,
which is very important, and you've had a lot of experience in that with all of your global education. And
yeah, I'm just so fortunate that I was able to get any of that, and that's what I try to. I see this position of me carrying on that legacy as well, not just Helen's and Brando's, but about the theater education that I've gotten, and how ridiculous would it be for me not to share that with others.
Absolutely.
It seems like a no-brainer.
Well, one of the ways I think you're doing that is a very unique way that a lot of organizations don't have, the arts organizations don't have the opportunity to do. Mm-hmm. And that's to bring in some of these directors and creatives that you've worked with,
yes,
in other geographical locations and cultural backgrounds. And while we do have a lot of that here in Long Beach, a lot of it it is limited.
Yes.
We all have our local vision, and which is fantastic, but to have other people from other areas and backgrounds come to lend their influence on the arts is can only improve and build upon the solid structure we already have.
Absolutely. And so I actually, last year for one of our New Work shows, I brought in my producing partner from Germany. So that he can come and do that. And so he, and I was also, some of the people I trained with, one at the Actors Gang, Tim Robbins' theater company in Culver City. So I was trained there. And then at LMU, that's where I studied abroad, and I was also on the board of directors for the student-run theater for 3 years. So I think that was a really good introduction as well for this job, where I was like already making seasons and like worried about all of these things. And so I met Marcus through studying abroad, and in high school I also had the opportunity at the ADPA to be trained by the man who went on to run the National Theater of South Korea, Chol Sen Kim, who, you know, filled my 16-year-old brain with Pina Bausch and Butoh and far more theatrical educations than normal, I would say, American audiences really
Absolutely.
get. Yes.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
Yes. And so it's really fun for me to expose my actors and my patrons to this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And in different ways, so it isn't too scary. Because I also understand that it is a lot of change, but we're also keeping a lot of things the way they have been. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to enhance the theater to the best of my abilities.
I think that's one of the things we can attest to and be grateful for the Long Beach theater going community, is that there is a lot of openness because of the already diverse cultural aspect of this city. So I think they're ready for that. You know, while it might be a little scary and unknown territory, I think that y'all are ready for it.
Yes.
I think.
Yes, absolutely. And so since, you know, Helen took over, we have maintained this small but vital presence in Long Beach, building a reputation of artistic excellence and local opportunity as well, because it's beautiful to just have actors who walked 5 blocks and now they're at the theater and that their home that they're making. So we believe that informed and well-formed imaginations are vital to being individuals in society. And we believe in fostering human imagination and connecting us to our inner selves and to our surroundings and to our communities. And we are dedicated to provide quality shows time and time again, and to nurturing our imaginations and to give people the gift of theater, making them think about things, making them relate to a character or a plot twist or anything. There is so much joy that I've had as a patron when I am experiencing a show. And that's what it really is. It isn't watching, it's experiencing it.
Yes.
And like putting yourself in there and in that. And the conversations you have after, of course, being like, I wish I played this part, or like, what would I do differently?
Yeah.
And so now I have the opportunity to not just see things and be like, I would have done that, but now I have the opportunity to do those things myself, which is still a crazy, beautiful thing that is wild.
Yes. And, you know, even though Shakespeare talks funny, I always like to say that. It sounds like such an ignorant way to put it. It's actual English.
It is.
Believe it or not.
It is.
But even though the dialogue might not be what we're used to in our generation, in our geographical locations, the stories.
Yes.
They are relatable in one way, shape, or form. I mean, yes, you know, you don't see a lot of people, you know, drinking poison and killing themselves because they thought the other one died by drinking poison or any of that. But you can take that story and put that into something that you can relate to in your life.
Yes.
It's something analogous, I guess is the word.
Definitely.
Like an analogy, but you know, I don't need to tell you guys that because y'all go to theater. And if you don't, you should.
You should.
Well, I know for firsthand that producing theater is not cheap.
No, it is
not inexpensive.
It
and
is.
Ticket sales cover. In my experience and from what all the arts organizations I've talked to, anywhere really from 20 to 40%. It just depends. Of your actual expenses for your organization. So, on top of ticket sales, how do you guys support and keep such an amazing organization open for so long?
We've been very fortunate enough to have dedicated patrons who have been donating, but you know, times change, people move on, people pass away. And so since we're always trying to make sure that LBSC can continue on regardless of what's happening, so we can maintain the high quality productions and educational opportunities and student discounts. any contributions to the Long Beach Shakespeare Company goes to our overhead costs to pay the electricity bill, for costumes, for sets, to props, to printing, and more.
And prices go up.
Oh man, they do.
Prices go
And
up.
our printer is retiring, so we
Oh,
have to find
no.
another one. But like all contributions that are made to Long Beach Shakespeare Company are tax deductible and so seen and appreciated. And we just have donations and ticket sales. So how can you help to make theater alive and keep it in this time that so many businesses and theaters are going out of business?
It's
Buy
so
tickets,
tough, yes.
donate what you can, and help keep theater alive. That's all we can do.
Do you guys relate on outside volunteerism as well
Yes.
for things other
Oh.
than being on the
Yes,
stage?
because like we're always looking for new team members on and off the stage. And so since I took over, I've tried to make us a little bit more industry standard in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So having a stage manager who actually calls the show from the booth was something we never had, and now we have that.
Great.
But there's always things that need to be done. I really would love to be able to soundproof our theater more. We have 2 neighbors, which are amazing. The barber shop, which has a secret speakeasy in the back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's one side, and our other one is Dutch's Brew House. And so Dutch's is such a great Bixby icon place. And so I want them to keep having their fun and us to be able to have quality shows time and time again. So that's one of the things that hopefully with the money from Long Beach Gives or just donations and ticket sales would go towards that and to getting a new booth, because the current the board that we have currently is older than how long I've been out of high school, so that is far too long.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that we're excited to get to put into the theater, and again trying to make it more industry standard, so we don't have a computer and a board that is running from 1999. That's not what we want. And as well, new chairs, so that our patrons can come and be very, very comfortable in our seats.
See that? You want to be comfortable at the theater? You need to support.
Yes, please.
Or bring your own pillows.
My parents did do that for a very short
Oh,
period
that's so
of time.
funny. So again, you can go to lbshakespeare.org to find more about programming, how to buy tickets, how to support them as donors, how to find out what they might need for volunteerism, just anything you want to know about them.
Yes, because we are the only full-time classical theater company in Long Beach. We're dedicated to bringing classical literature to life with quality performances, live music, and lively spectacle. Our mission is for pro-literacy and pro-community, with professional actors, musicians, artists, designers, choreographers, technicians working alongside eager students and talented neighbors that we have in Bixby Knolls.
That's fantastic. It's just that it's even more reason to get up and support and go see it. I have not been to one of your productions, so I definitely need to. I've been kind of out of the Long Beach area for a while, just getting back in post-COVID.
Yes.
So I've got a lot of theater going to do out here.
Please, we have a show every month, so there's something for
that's
everyone.
great.
And Chekhov and Shorts will be opening on the 30th, so not too far away, and we run until September 20th, and we will be doing a Long Beach Gives special performance as well.
Awesome.
So we're very excited about that.
Speaking of Long Beach Gives,
Yes.
that is probably the next big fundraising campaign you guys are participating
Yes.
in. Is this your first year with Long Beach Gives?
This is our second year
Second
with
year,
Long Beach
okay, cool.
Gives. And so it's been just great to be able to connect with different nonprofits and their causes and their teams. Like getting the chance to meet you
Yes.
and connect with you was so beautiful. And it widens our scope of patrons that we get and gives people the opportunity to see what they can do to support other businesses associated with Long Beach Gives and just in the Long Beach community, and forming different relationships and partnerships between these groups for years to come. Last year I was there when Long Beach Gives was honored by Long Beach Mayor Rex Richardson. So that was wonderful to, in my first year, be with everyone.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and so we performed in Recreation Park for last year's Long Beach Gives live event, and during our 10-minute performance, we raised $1,000.
Wow.
Yes, and so we'll be there again this year.
That's like $100 a minute.
Exactly. It was amazing.
Did I do that math right? Wow.
Yes, and so
where can I find a job like that?
Exactly. We'll come to Long Beach Gives Live
Come to Long Beach Gives Live. Absolutely.
And you can find out so much about the different organizations that are involved with Long Beach Gives, and just do the work to help keep theater alive. And we'll be having a special performance for Chekhov and Shorts on the 14th of September. So I hope to see you guys there.
Cool.
Yes.
So Long Beach Gives, for those of you who may not be aware, is very similar to Giving Tuesday, which is the first Tuesday after Thanksgiving, where people globally dig into their pockets and help support charities of their choice. Long Beach Gives is a local community-run fundraising campaign that's in its 6th year now, I believe. 2019 was the first year. You can find out more information at www.longbeachgives.org. There are almost 250 organizations that are partaking in this amazing campaign this year that cover 16 different causes, everything from arts and culture to mental health, animals, environmental, youth support, senior support, you name it, the cause is there. And these organizations represent, I'd say, about a 1/6 of the actual nonprofits that are in Long Beach. So there are a lot of people here working with this amazing community and giving back to this amazing community. And this is your opportunity to help support those organizations that support and build the community through their causes. Ours being arts and culture, which is very vital to any community. You can go onto that website and you can filter by cause. You can filter in alphabetical order. You can donate to more than one organization, all in one shopping cart. It's a one-stop shop. You can pick 250 of your favorite nonprofits and donate however much you want to each of them. Do one checkout at the end, one charge on your credit card. And on that site, when you do find these other organizations, one being the Long Beach Shakespeare Company, you can find out some more information about them. For more detailed information, you go to their website, of course, which there will be a link on the Long Beach Give site as well. If you don't remember that it's lbshakespeare.org, how much easier can it get than that? But this is your opportunity. This year, Long Beach Gives Day is on Thursday, September 19th. That is the official day of giving. But they've been generous enough to open up the window because maybe we're all really busy on the 19th. So they'll give you a whole week from September 12th to 19th to donate towards this fundraising campaign. You can go onto the website and donate then. Of course, if you feel like you need to donate right now because you've been inspired by Holly and the amazingness of Long Beach Shakespeare Company, you can go and donate directly through their website as well. But keep that other campaign in mind too, because the need is there. The need to continue to uplift our community through the arts is 100% there, and we can't do it without you. So take that into consideration.
Yes, and just remember, in the brink of our pandemic, we all turned to the arts. And
yes, we did.
We absolutely did. And so I'm just so proud to be part of Long Beach Gives, and with this circle of different artists and doctors and whoever else is in this scope, because we can't make an event or a theater or anything like that work with just one person. It's everyone coming together to create the best show that we can.
100%.
Yes.
100%. Holly, thank you
you
for being here today, for talking about the amazing Long Beach Shakespeare Company. I can't wait to come see one of your productions.
Yes, go to our website, lbshakespeare.org. We always have a show going on. And we also have exclusive merchandise, including Shakespeare cat stickers. So show-specific cat stickers.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's amazing. I will be on that website today with my credit card. That is so cool.
Yes.
That is so cool. We would also like to extend a special thank you to Buell Brown and Stage Explorations, our producers, for helping us create this Coffee Talk with P3 series. as well as the Nonprofit Partnership for letting us use their facility to do the filming, Julie Meenan and the Nonprofit Partnership for creating Long Beach Gives 6 years ago so we can continue to bring amazing things to Long Beach.
Yeah.
We will catch you next time on Coffee Talk with P3.
Bye.
Ciao for now.
Long Beach Theater needs your support. We hope you will consider donating on Long Beach Gives Day to all the theater and arts nonprofits that are participating in Long Beach Gives on September 19th. If you could donate to all the nonprofits participating with Long Beach Gives, that would be awesome too. Remember to mark your calendar and pass this date and video on to your work colleagues, family, and friends. Please support the Long Beach nonprofit community on September 19th. Go, 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 Long Beach Gives Day! To learn more about the Coffee Talk with P3 podcast and the nonprofit theater behind this podcast, go to the P3 Theater Company website at www.p3theater.biz. That's P3 THEATRE.biz. And if you are a theater and arts nonprofit that would like to be highlighted on a Coffee Talk with P3 podcast, or you know a nonprofit that should be highlighted, please email me, John Peterson, at john@p3theater.biz. That's Jon John at p3theater.biz. We would love to start a conversation with you and your nonprofit. Looking forward to enjoying another coffee and discussion with you in the future. Long Beach Theater needs your support. We hope you will consider donating on Long Beach Gives Day to all the theater and arts nonprofits that are participating in Long Beach Gives on September 19th. If you can donate to all the nonprofits participating with Long Beach Gives, that would be awesome too. Remember to mark your calendar and pass this date and video on to your work colleagues, family, and friends. Please support the Long Beach nonprofit community on September 19th. Go, 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 Long Beach Gives Day!